Hello everyone, this is Miss Chelsea, and today we will be discussing the usage of square and cube roots in equations. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to find the solution to an equation where the variable is squared or cubed. So let's go back and do a little bit of 6th and 7th grade review. Solving equations involves finding the value of the unknown variables in the given equation. To do this, we need to get the variable on one side by itself. We can achieve this by using inverse operations to cancel out the unnecessary parts of the equation. So let's go ahead and get started by solving for a cube root. To do this, we need to know that the inverse of cube root is cube, or raising to the third power. So let's try using this knowledge in a little example. Solve for x when cube root of x equals -6. To solve for x, we need to get x by itself. That means we need to get rid of that little old cube root. And we can make that cube root cancel out by doing the inverse operation, which is cubing both sides. Now cube root of x cubed is just x, and -6 cubed is -212. So we have now found our solution. X equals -212. Now keep in mind, inverse operations do come in pairs because they work both ways. That means that because the inverse of cube root is cube, the inverse of cubing a number will be taking its cube root. Now let's use that information in an example and find y if y cubed equals 729. Taking the cube root of y cubed makes the cube root and the cube cancel out, leaving us with y on the left. Now 9 times 9 times 9, or 9 cubed, equals 729. So the cube root of 729 is 9. That means y equals 9. Now keep in mind, just like the inverse of cubing a number is taking the cube root, the inverse of squaring a number is taking the square root. Let's use that in an example and solve for z in the equation square root of z equals 5/7. First of all, let's get z by itself. To do this, we must get rid of the square root. Now, since the inverse of taking the square root of a number is squaring the number, let's square both sides of this equation. Now on the left, we get square root of z squared, which is just z. And on the right, we get 5/7 squared. Hold up, wait a minute, we gotta use the quotient rule. We gotta make 5/7 squared into 5 squared over 7 squared, or 25/49. Now let's plug our answer into our equation just to double check, and we get square root of 25/49 equals 5/7, and that is true, my friends. Let's keep going. Now for our last example, we're going to try and find a when a squared equals 169. First of all, just like we've been doing, we need to get the variable a by itself. Since that pesky square is in the way, we are going to take the square root of both sides. The square root of a squared is just a, and the square root of 169 is 13, because 13 times 13 is 169. But hold up, is that the only answer you could have? Well, no, it is not. Although 13 times 13 does give you 169, -13 times -13 also gives you 169. That means we have two solutions. A equals +13 and A equals -13. Now here's a little side note for you. You can use the plus or minus symbol in your answer if the variable is squared. It shows that you have two solutions, the principal root, which is positive, and its opposite, which is negative. Now, just so you know, that means that we can write the solution to a squared equals 169 as a equals plus or minus 13. Now, if you've got all your guide notes filled in, you can move on to the assignment.